Hi everyone. I'm trying to get this on. Okay. See if you could see everything. This way. Oh. I know a lot of people were asking to see the Tumblr toppers that we were making, so I figured I had to do one anyway. So figured I would show you, and I'm trying to get it on my computer so I can see questions. Hey Timara. No, a lot. So figured. Okay, can everybody see everything? Using this new tripod. Can you hear me okay? Hi Donna. Can you guys see everything? I figured I would show you what I use. Everybody does things a different way. This is just my way. Great, thank you. This is my way, and if you pick up any tips or you have any questions, I hope I can answer everything for you. This is the tumbler that we're gonna make today. And this is the topper. So, you guys, it has 3 magnets on the bottom. I don't know what kind of lids you guys get. So I use 3 magnets. These are the magnets I had from a different project I was doing. So if you have different ones, I know some people use bigger ones, only use 2. I use 3 because I feel like it was more stable. And this is the bottom, well, this is the top of the lid. So when I put it on, it snaps on. I feel like it's got, you know, it's not going anywhere. So again, that's just what I do. And I'll show you how I place my magnets and everything. My first one I did was this one, which I kind of stopped at because I was using only these big glass marbles, and it's just too heavy. You can basically kind of use it as a weapon. So I just felt like it just was too heavy, and it wasn't realistic for somebody, I feel like, to carry it. So this one is a lot lighter. So I think it was more durable. And I think it looks better than just these big ones. So that's that. And then the ducks, I used the same one as Tamara did from Amazon. Then I got 2 different size marbles. One I got from Amazon, which are the bigger ones. And then I got kind of a smaller one that they had because I went to Hobby Lobby and I was seeing what they had there. And they had a smaller size. And they also had these beads, which were on sale for 62 cents. But they have a hole in them, and I'll show you what I do with that. And there's a bunch of different sizes. You could see, like, so, and then I use these micro bubble ones that I got a long time ago from Wish. I use clear, and I use some blue. So I think it looks kind of like water. So that, and then as far as UV resin, I think that, I'm not sure if Tamara uses this one or not. It came in a 2-pack on Amazon. I think it was less than 10 bucks. I like it, so that's good. Then I have lots of different types of UV lights. When I saw Tamara had this one, I like this one. So I've been using this, but before I had only the flashlight, which works too, and 2 different sizes. So whatever you have, as long as it has that purple UV light, it'll work. Okay. I have a marker that comes off to mark for my magnets. Yeah, it's super handy. Oh, Mr. Resin, thanks. I got whatever the least expensive one was. Then, okay. So as far as Tumblr wrapping goes, I know everybody has their own different way to do it. I like to wrap the shit out of mine. So I was going to show you how I do that. I think that what I do, I don't know if you could see, I try to line it up as best I can so that the line, I can see the black line kind of matches, so it looks okay at the seam. This one actually is a little off for me. And I try to do as little overlap as possible on mine, because I think it makes the seam look better. You probably can't, I don't know if you could see it so well on the video, but this side needs to go up a little bit. And I try to get whatever lines I'm trying to match as close as possible so that it looks seamless. So that's good. Okay. And it's not going to go perfect. I think as long as you get some of them, that others are more forgiving when you look at them. And then, yeah, if Tamara will let me share the link, I'll share it with you where I get these toppers. They do let the slide stay on, which is cool. I like that. Hey, Kimberly, I shared everything that I was using on when I first started, but I will share it. I can either put links, or if you go and watch the replay, you'll see it all. I use the clear tape. I like that clear tape better. And again, everybody does their thing their own way, so it's however you want to do it. This one, as you can see, like, you can't see the seam. It kind of blends in unless you're really looking for it, if you line up a couple of lines. So, and then for the bottom, I will show you how I do my bottoms so that you don't get those creases in them. I'll show you that too. And then, so this is my tumbler. First, what I do is, for me, I prefer that the design go all the way to the top. I think my design going all the way to the top makes for, nobody really looks at the bottom so much, and as long as it hits the bottom, I think it's better to not have that blank spot on the top. And again, like I said, I kind of go overboard on my taping. First, I'll use just a few to line up as many of the black or whatever lines there are to, hi Kathy, so that when you go around it doesn't look so noticeable. So for me, I start at the top, I hold the tape down with this finger, and then I pull it so that it's super tight, if you could see that. And then, like I said, I like to go all the way down with that, and I'll hold it so this way my seam is extremely tight together. So I hold it down on one side and then I pull. I noticed when I wasn't holding on here, it would come off. So if I notice any bubbles coming, I'll retape it. And again, some people just put like 3 things of tape because they have like this super press. And I use an oven, an Oster oven. I bake it at 385 for 4.5 minutes, and then I will do a cold flush on it, which is just, I'll take the paper off under super cold water. And I'll just, like I said, keep going down the line here, just taking tape and doing that. I don't know where everybody's from, but it's like 105 degrees in Portland today. So I'm trying to stay inside. I figured, why not craft? And you don't need super long pieces of tape for this. You just want to get that seam super tight, because that's usually where you're going to see the most ghosting, I think. Or it'll be the most visible. And I don't like seams, so I try and hide them. I know that also some people have the tumbler press, and that'll probably get your seam to be tight. No, what I use is I'm using clear heat tape. I got this on Amazon. It was 2 rolls for I think it was like $5 shipped, which I have no idea how, because whenever I try and ship something, it's so expensive, and Amazon, everything's free and like $2. But it's I don't know if you could see it. It's for my dispenser heat tape. Again, I used to use yellow tape. I'm not a fan of it, so I switched to this one. I'm happy with it. Just down the line. And sorry this is taking forever. I'm not gonna continue with it. I'm just gonna show you a little bit on how I tape it and do the bottoms, and then we can get into the topper. So this. So for my bottom, so get all this done. And again, for people who are new, just starting to watch, I'm gonna try and look for big lines that I can see through the design to match up, so that way it kind of looks seamless. It's not gonna be perfect because I cut into it so there's no white showing on the design, and sometimes you cut stuff off or it's not a fully seamless design, so it's not gonna line up exactly, but I try and get major lines so that it does. And then what I do is I take one and I go down and I fold this over the bottom. Take this thing off. You're gonna, I don't know if you guys use, but I use the rubber bottoms that come with the cup, so I just take that off and I start it there. And I'm not gonna go fully around the top, but I will also go around the full top, and I put it in so that it folds over the top. For me, I find that it will help me avoid the ghosting on the top, and I make sure that I have the design go over the top because I don't like the white lines. As for the bottom, I start with the seam and I take a scissor and I will cut it. And then I tape that down with a little bit of an overlay from that. So I know some people snip them before, but I never know how it's gonna sit on my cup, so I usually wait till it's on my cup and then I'll push it in and I'll go around the whole cup with my scissor. And like I said, I'm just showing you a little bit, then we can get to the topper. So I don't like any gaps or try to get the white, so I'll have a little bit of an overlay. And again, I don't know how particular people are about the bottoms, but I'm anal about everything, I guess. So I don't know, I try to make it as nice as possible. I also sell these. I have like a full-time job as well, so when I do them, I like making my tumblers, so I pay more attention to them. I feel like it relaxes me. So after I go around with the tape, I'll put one whole tape up the top, or two, depending. And again, I hold it down and I pull as tight as possible. And I don't know if it does anything. For me, it works. And then I'll go in. Then I have this, I got on Amazon too. It's a rubber blade, not a metal one. And I'll just push it through. I used to use shrink wrap. I don't anymore. I find for me that the blue painter's tape works better. Every time I've used shrink wrap, it just doesn't work right for me. So after I'm done taping all around, I take blue painter's tape and I'll take this is thick. It's only because I didn't buy new one. This is just what I had in the house. I don't think it makes a difference which one you use. And again, what I'll do is I start on the side that has the overlap on it, and I will put one piece down and I just pull it and get it as tight as I can around the tumbler, just pulling it. Try not to have any creases in your tape. Sometimes you can't help it. And then what I'll do is, after I put tape on the whole thing, I'll use the rubber blade and just kind of go around it, getting the air pockets out. Don't go super heavy. I'm always nervous that I'm gonna scratch the design. I never have, but so like I said, I try and just go all the way around it. But that's how I do my tumbler. If you have any questions, and I'll do tape on the whole thing, you know, Usually I have tape all the way around the bottom, cutting as I go, and I will tape all the way around my tumbler. And after you wash it, there's not anything inside, so I still have to wash this one again, but it doesn't leave a mark. That's why I like this white one. I felt like when I used the yellow tape, this tape, that it would leave marks, but this white one doesn't. So I'm a fan. Okay, so that's how I do my tumblers. If you have any questions about that, you can just ask. Now on to the fun stuff. My toppers. So I have this topper that I like because it does let you keep the top on, and it fits really well. And you can still close it. And then I have my resin. So what I'll do first is basically just put the topper in, and I'll kind of look at where I want my magnets to go. I need to make sure that it'll touch the magnet, that it's not impeding on the function of the topper, of the closer. So I kind of want, and I do 3, like I was saying before, because I feel like it holds it better. If I had bigger magnets, probably only need 2, but because this is just what I had, I didn't order any new ones. So then what I'll do is, comes like that. I will take my resin, and for this I'm just going to use my flashlight. Again, I have flashlight or this one that I saw on Tamara's live, which I like. I'll take my magnets, and I like to have them all facing the same way, because sometimes, you know, it's got to go a certain way for it to click. So what I do is I'll put the first one down. So I put a dab. The first one to me doesn't really matter. And I'll have my flashlight ready, because if you don't have it ready, the resin is kind of slippery and it's at a slant, so it starts sliding. But if you get it right away, then it avoids having like a big glop around your magnet. And literally, I mean, it's stuck now. So then I will take the second one, and I'll see which way it connects. So I know that this is going to be my bottom on this side. So what I'll do is I will take a dot of that, and then quickly take this magnet off of here and flip it around. See, it's like sliding, and then there you go. So you can see this one slid a bit. I take this extra stuff off of it. The stuff resin comes off if you use your nail enough, so. Okay. And for the back, just kind of lined it up with the circle here, and I go in the lip. So find my magnets. I want to find the right side, so it's snapped on this way, so I'm going to be doing it on this side. And resin till you use the UV light, it is still wet, so you have time to flip it over and go in. There you go. And dry it out. The back one's a little on a slant, but it still holds it and it doesn't stop it from closing. So, and don't worry if you get a little bit on your lid, because like I said, if you take it, it'll come off with your nail. So, okay. Now, as for doing the top and lining it up, what I do is I put the base down how I want it, and I take one of these like felt pens and I put a mark like right on where the magnet is, so it's lined up correctly. And because this is acrylic, you can see it from the back, which is where you want to go. Now, remember that it's flipped, but what's cool about using a felt marker is that it comes off. So like that. When you flip it, things don't kind of line up correctly, obviously. So kind of like this. So that way I can, because my thing is that if you put the UV on top of it, I'm scared that it's gonna stay there. So, sorry. Put it back. Have my marks here. Then I turn it around. Have my marks there. And then what I do is I draw a line like that, just connecting the two dots. So that way when I turn it around, I kind of know the area that I'm going to with that, within that line to connect them, right? So then when I can take these off, kind of know where I'm going to. And again, I don't know because I've never done it where I left the marks on and put the resin over it. So a couple times what I've done was I've messed up with putting the magnets on the wrong way, and it's kind of a pain to get them off, you know. So you want to try and make sure that you're putting them on the right way, right? So what I'll do is put them on, then make sure it sits right, and that your topper is touching your magnets. And I'm probably overthinking it way more than other people do. I'm not sure, but see, what I see is if I do it that way, you can't really tell, but that magnet wasn't touching the lid. And you want to make sure it touches the lid, or else you're going to have a gap in you're gonna have a gap from the magnet, so it'll sit weird. Okay. I wonder if I can like put the wonder if I can put the glue on the magnet and then stick this down. Should we try that and see if it works? Let's try that. Then we wouldn't have to use a marker. See, learning new things all the time. I'm gonna try it. So I'll put a dab here, here, and there. And then I will push down and let's see if it works. It would be cool if it did. All right, moment of truth. Oh, that one came off, but that's a lot easier to get on. But it worked. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have any questions, but feel free to ask. And then I will put the tape back, I'll put the resin back here. And we'll put this little bad boy back on because he fell off or came off. And I guess what's good about it also is that as you're doing it, I like to kind of be a little bit rough with it because I feel like you never know what your customers are going to be doing with it. And I want them to be able to like hold it. And I'm scared this guy's going to come off at some point, but I don't want things falling off. I think it's not very professional if you're having things drop all the time. So I try and be a little rougher than I would normally be when I'm first. All right, yeah, so I guess it did work. I guess you can do that is put the magnets on and then put a little glue on the magnet and use the UV light from this side. That'll definitely get your placement. So, ta-da! And it's not going anywhere. It's pretty stuck. I don't work on the topper on the lid. I only will do it sometimes when I'm trying to figure out my placement, and I will start with the two narrowest spots first, so that way I know that I'm not hitting over the straw holder. So I'll use the UV light for that. Move this. I don't know if I'm getting any comments or anything. I know I was seeing them before. I'm not seeing them now, but let me see if I refresh my computer, if I see them. If there's any. Okay. On the topper, on the, okay. So what I'll start with first is, for this one, I used the medium size on one and then some of the smaller bead ones on the other side. So I'll probably stick with that because I like the duck in the front. And the duck tends to sit better on the bigger marbles than the smaller ones. So I have two size bigger marbles. The bigger one I got, I think it's like a 1/2 millimeter or something. This was on Amazon. And then I got these smaller ones from Hobby Lobby. And for those of you just joining, I tried my first topper just to use the glass marbles, and it's just too heavy to be practical. So I like the mix of using the the non-glass beads. They're plastic because they're a lot lighter. And I got these from Hobby Lobby. They were on clearance. I'm sure you can find them everywhere. I would have preferred that there were no holes in them, but I cover them with the smaller micro beads, and the duck and resin will cover it too. So it'll get covered. I would prefer that they didn't have them. I'm still trying to look, but I also wanted to do them so fast, so I just went out and got whatever was available. So I'm gonna take the medium marble and start in on the lid, because I want to place the lid, like I said, where it won't bother the straw. And what I'll do is put a little resin right on here, right there. I'll put it on, and it rolls all over. Like, I literally have a bunch of these marbles on my floor somewhere that I have to clean up, but till you use the light, it's wobbling all over. But as soon as you put the light on, I mean, it's not going anywhere. And I'm not going to just leave this little dab of it. I'm just doing that to get it in place. And then later on, I'll put resin, more resin on it to keep it from going anywhere. The last thing you want is for somebody to be drinking a resin marble or bead, right? So, plus it's clear. It looks like water when it goes on. It doesn't affect anything on it. I'd rather use a little bit more to be on the safe side. Doesn't smells, but it goes away too. Now, sometimes you'll catch like little flecks of like dirt or something on the marble, and if it bugs you, it bugs me. I'll just usually put some micro beads over it to cover it. So once I get these two sides and like a little bit around the outer, I'll start working off of the lid, so that way I can kind of look around it, see how to build on it, put some resin inside to stick things. So on this side, I'm gonna stick with the same, doing the smaller. This pack that I got at Hobby Lobby has about 3 sizes, I think, in it. So I like taking the bigger one, and you're gonna like play around with it and move stuff how you want to. I mean, it should be fun to you. It should look good. Everything's organic, and I mean, there could be some time that I don't think something will look good there, but I'll put a little dab there, and I try to keep my hole of the bead somewhere where you won't see it. If I know I'm gonna cover it with something, I'll put it towards the side or on the bottom. If I have to put it where it's facing on top, because when you're doing it, you'll notice it's kind of like a Tetris game. You're trying to fit the stuff in to where you can for it to, I don't know how to explain it, just, I guess it just fits, right? You'll see the gaps in the spaces, and you'll have to put in different size ones. So I have a little gap in the back, like right here. So I will look for one that fits there. I'm taking probably the next size down, and you can see that goes right there, right? So I'm gonna take it out, and I'm gonna put it here to cover this angle right there. And I will try and hide that, the hole. And if I can't, I'll cover it later on. For gaps, like, I don't know if it's hard to see or not. There's like little gaps. What I'll do for those is I take, and you can use a toothpick for this. Again, I was trying not to buy a lot of stuff. I'm kind of a craft hoarder. And I have a lot of stuff, so I don't really want to buy more stuff. I have these Q-tip things that I use. So I have a bazillion of them. I don't use this side of it. I use this side of it. And what I will do for that is open these up. And I like to mix the two different colors because I think it makes it kind of look a little more realistic. So I'm kind of messy. I'm sure that there is a better way to do this, and I can probably, let me see if I can see one. Hold on. I have this. I'm just gonna try this. I have this old mirror I got from my old job. Maybe this will work. What I was doing before, I was letting the resin kind of run off of the sides. I was like pushing it up and letting it run so you can kind of see it's all wonky, but let's see. I'll put some over here on the mirror. And then I'll take it and I'll dip my, can you see it? I'll dip my back of it, not a lot, just a little bit, and I'll dunk it in a little bit of the white, so now it's grabbing on, and kind of run it over, and then I'll hit it with the light. And then I'll take some of the blue and again, this is my way. I'm sure there's other ways that it can be done. I'm just learning like everyone else. There's no set way to anything, but like I said, I like all different size bubbles because I feel like you're filling in these voids and having multiple sizes will let you fill in the voids, which I find I rather use more than less. I've seen tumblers that don't have, like, I'm just not a fan of seeing that, but some people are, and some people do it. There's nothing wrong with it. Again, it's just personal preference, and I kind of like having a full view of that. Now, as far as this hole, sorry, my nails are gross. So for the hole, what I will do is, I'll take the resin and I'll put it on the hole, and I'll take some more of my marbles, the little mini ones, and cover the hole. So that way you don't have that hole anymore. You can see, I'll try and, yeah, so if you ever see dirt, the last thing you want to do is have dirt on the tumbler. So there, I covered my hole now, and I have little micro bubbles. Then on this side, I'm gonna find something to put there. I can either use one of these, and again, like I said, I'll play with it. This is the mini one from the pack that I got. And what I'll try and do is, it's not even like a perfect circle, so I want to get it as close to the edge as possible. And if you move it around, I notice sometimes it fits differently in better spots. And I will go ahead and put now some resin over that so that it stops. And go that way on it. So everybody could see. Okay, then going towards, also you want to kind of work, you don't want to start putting stuff here and here and there. Only reason I say that is because then you have to find tighter circles to kind of fit different sizes in. I don't have that many sizes to work with. My saving grace is the micro beads because they fit in everywhere and they can cover a lot of your voids. But I mean, I just don't want huge clumps anywhere because I think that makes it look weird. So what I'll do is I want to work going one way. So I'm looking at what fits, and I can either do that or I can go bigger. And sometimes it'll look weird, so I think a gradual look is better. So I'll put this one down. And I'm trying to work. I'm not gonna make up a lot on that side, so I rather it fit in that way first. If you feel it wobbly, you can always add more. And I'm sorry if this is a little long-winded. This is my first tutorial. And I appreciate Tamara letting me do it. So I hope I'm not boring you guys. I don't know, my comments are not refreshing, so I'm not sure if anybody's asking me anything, but if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And then, okay, so we'll continue on. Then I want to fill these gaps over here. So, you can kind of see when you're working what size will fit. And for me, if I'm not going to put something over here, you could tell when it doesn't look right. And again, I probably spend too much time on fitting the right pieces in. So whatever works for you, then go like that. And I like, after spreading a little of the micro bubbles in there, there's a spot right here. And if you're ever doubting that it's gonna fit, you can always go back to your topper and see what you're working with. Now that I found the plastic ones, I try not to use as many of the bigger ones. I like to just have them sporadically in the design to give it dimension and to put the ducks on. So you'll have a spot right there. And I feel like you want to kind of get a lot of different sizes. I don't I think 2 sizes next to each other leaves a bigger, like a more of a gap. And sometimes they just don't work. And anywhere you see these little guys, like these little holes, and I'm not sure how much you could see on the camera. Thanks, Kimberly. I appreciate it. Anytime you see little gaps in it, what I'll do again is take this guy, get some micro bubbles in there, mix some blue up. Put them in. And use the resin, I'll use the UV light on the bad boy. So see it. I don't know how in focus I am. Okay. So, all right. For the sake of getting to it, let's put one of the bigger ones down, and I'll show you how I do my ducks. Okay. And you can always, if you need more of a surface area to get it stuck in the resin, before you put the UV light to it, you can kind of roll your marble into it so you have resin covered on more of your surface. And again, you're gonna go around it again anyhow to get more on it so it doesn't break off. There. Now for the ducks, again, I got these off of Amazon. Thanks, Tamara. For the ducks, I got them on Amazon. And I'm gonna look how I want him sitting. Which way do I want him facing? I mean, you can go all different ways. Do I want his butt on the marble? Do I want him sitting on the marble? I like to have the ducks on all different heights. I think it looks better than having them all on the same. So, and I like them on angles too. I don't just want it in a regular way. I like to figure out just different ways for it to make it look more interesting. So when you have the surface that you want, then you can kind of figure out which way you want to put him. And remember, you're gonna have a couple more. I know some people do 3, 4, 5. This guy has 4, but I was using the bigger marbles. I thought 3 was enough on this one. So kind of like him sitting over there. So I will go ahead and place him down. I think he's cool like that. And like Tamara did, I like the bubbles on the duck, but I don't think covering them with so much. So maybe this guy will put a little on his head and maybe some on his back or his wings. I like to have them all different. So I will do that with the toothpick or this thing, whatever you have. So I'll put some resin and then I'll dip it, and I'll dip it in both. I only use the micro beads for this topper, so I don't care that they mix. And not all are gonna stick, some are gonna fall, some are gonna lump together. I kind of like how that looks, and it'll all be, you know, different to you, how you want it. I stacked one for this guy. I don't know if it's gonna fall. I kept like trying to play with it. I don't want it to fall, so you want to make sure that when you have it, it is stuck on there. So you can always put on more, or these are kind of easy to take off if you want to. You just like pick them off. Remember, you're gonna put more resin on it, so this just has a little bit right now. If you didn't like the placement of it, you can always take it off. If you want a little more, we can like maybe some on his chest over here. Yeah, these are for the nails, and I will give the links. I'm gonna ask Tamara first if we can do that. I got them off of Wish. I mean, you can get them on Amazon or Etsy too if you want to do these right away. Wish, as you know, takes forever. But I don't know. Kind of, maybe we want to put some like right underneath him here. He's swimming on bubbles, right? So I'll take this guy and again, some fall off. This is just the way I do it. I'll pick them up, I'll reuse them. I don't care that there's resin on them or that they're clumped together, because usually I'll clump them together anyway. And you have a little duck. First duck. And I'll go over it, like I said, because I don't want these coming off. And I'll continuously play with them to see if they come off. And then what I want to do is, there's a void right here, so I'll go in there next and see what fits. And that's what's nice about having the packs of beads that have all different sizes, is that you can kind of play with them to see where you're going before you use the micro beads as the filler. See? Kind of looks full. Now, when I show you this, you're gonna need, because of the lid, you can't go straight across, so you need a little bit of an arc here, and I can show you how I build that up too. And that's why it's nice to be able to go from underneath so that you can secure it more after you do your first one, because you don't want it falling apart either. All right, Tamara, bye. So do that, and then so let me put a couple more here, and then I'll show you how to build that arch. Again, I don't really like, I said, to do a bunch of the same ones. Here, maybe I'll do another big, what will I do here? Let's go maybe a couple small ones and then a big one, because now I don't want to put my ducks too close together either, right? I want them to kind of be spread out and not on the same line. So maybe I'll do a couple different ones here. Trying to see, did I run out of the smaller size marbles? I'll show you how they come, because obviously I need more. So the marbles that I got, the bigger ones are from Amazon, and then the smaller ones were in the floral section of Hobby Lobby. And they're these decorative marbles. And it was $3.99 for 2 pounds, which is a lot of toppers. So I'll take some more small ones. Okay, and then maybe, so like I said, I'm gonna try, and before I stick it down, I wanna see what I'm doing first. So I'm looking at it on the topper, because if I'm going here, there's that lip from the topper. I don't wanna impede it or go over it, because then your topper won't stick on the magnets correctly. So you want to stay in the brim of, you want to stay in that brim of the lid. So I guess that maybe, or do I want to go, if I want to maybe go and put a higher little duck up that way? I think I like that kind of. So what I'll do is I will take this, and now I have 2, right? So I'm holding them down and I'm going with the resin right over it. That's why this is useful. I had a different resin that didn't have the nozzle, and it was really hard to work with because it had a bigger spout, so it wouldn't pour nice like this. But this one you can get in the crevices, see? So I like that. So now we have 2, and then I'm thinking maybe we'll raise it up so we can put a duck up higher. So that way maybe we'll do 2 here, and then I can do 2 in the back, right? And I can either go off to the side, or I can start building my arc. Because again, when you have that straw in there, you need the arc, because you can't touch the lid for it to function. And you want to be able to have that straw come through. And you'll need the straw because you want to make sure it has enough room while you're building the arc, that you're not touching the straw and it can still jiggle. Thanks, Kimberly. I'm trying. And you want to have fun with it. I mean, my crafting is my stress relief, so I enjoy doing it. And I think that when you like doing something, it comes out better. So I'm at a higher level now. And again, you can always add. So I'm not worried about the hole here. And I tend to put my micro bubbles on after I make my creases, so that they're as a kind of used as a filler, right? So I like that up there, and I'm thinking ahead on how I'm going to build my arc, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tumbler and I'm going to put my lid on. So now I know where my straw is. I see where my topper is sitting, and I see where I can kind of build my arc around it. Because what's going to happen if you, on these particular toppers, there's a space here, so you have to build an arc for it to be full here, or else it would just be around and you'd have this U in the middle, which to me would be funny, right? I mean, that kind of looks weird. So I'm going to build my arc. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start connecting from one side to the other, but you want to think about it first, and you want to figure out what the best way to do it would be. I noticed that I like to use the bigger marbles for this, because I only have to I use fewer of them, and I think that gives it like a better look than having a bazillion smaller ones to build. So all right, so I'm gonna connect it in these creases here. I'll show you the arc, Kimberly. It's so what I'm trying to do is I need to connect this side to this side to cover this circle. Excuse me, to cover this hole, because I don't want you to see the middle. Here, I'll show you. If I take this one and I put it on, it just looks weird. You see what I mean? And I can't go straight across because I still have this top on it and I want this still to work. So I need to build an arc on it to cover the hole. So that's what that is, if it makes sense. So, all right, so I'm building my arc. And again, for me, it's easier to build it. See, it's coming loose already. So we need to stick it on better before we continue. And that'll happen. So I'm gonna go around and again, I'm super heavy-handed on my resin because I rather, it's gonna look like your water, so it's not affecting, the look isn't affecting anything, and it's just gonna make it so that it doesn't pop off, right? I mean, I wouldn't go super crazy on it because I'll show you what happened to another one. Make sure it still fits. Okay, so on one spot over here, on this one, and I had to kind of scrape it off, I went a little crazy right here with my resin, and you can kind of see it looks a little funky, but I know I'm probably the only one who can tell. So, but it'll get a little foggy. But I went crazy on it, and it really looks just like water on it. It doesn't drips, so I don't think that that really does anything, right? Cool. Yeah, if you have questions, let me know. I want you to be successful in this. I'm not, hey, there's more than enough to go around for everybody, right? To make them. So, and you want to make sure that your tumbler is sitting correctly, because for some reason now one of my magnets isn't touching. And I'm thinking it's because I went a little heavy over there on the lip. And I don't care if I am going to remove something in order to make it function better, because my first thing is that I want it to function better, and to continuously put it on the tumbler that you're making will help you have a better product, right? So I think that what happened was these guys were making it so that my lip didn't touch. And I guess it's probably better for me to get all my mistakes in with you guys here, because then you can see if you come up with an issue when you're making them, maybe. But I think it was that this wasn't sitting there right. All right, yeah, so there you go. Oh. My magnet. And I rather all my stuff happen while the tumbler is here with me, because once the tumbler is with your customer, I mean, you don't want it to fall off. So be rough with it, in my opinion. I'd rather it fall off with me so I can fix it than it fall off with them. Because then it's about getting it back or getting that bad review. And I don't know about you, but I don't want that, right? So And then we're back to sitting right. It was all about just getting it not on that lip, because then once it's on the lip of the tumbler, your magnets are not going to touch, and the whole purpose of the magnet, I guess, is going to be void. All right, so I rather build up on my arc than down. So I'm not going to go under this marble, I'm going to build over. So my next one is going to go on the top, the topper of this, then down. So again, I like to look at what I'm going to do first. And I think what I'm going to do maybe is go, I don't want to cover my duck. Maybe I want to go in back of my duck. And that's, again, that's why I like so many different sizes, because I feel like then you can work with them, right? Now the duck is not going to be swimming, I don't know, I guess you could have a bubble on a duck, right? But I like to go under my duck. So I think I'm going to go right here. I'm going to put it back on my tumbler. I'm probably anal about how I go about it. I just want to make sure that my whole tumbler is functioning. So I'll probably go right there. And then what's good about going under is that I can always build forward with smaller ones. And I'm looking for a look rather than just like getting it there for it to be there. You know what I mean? Thanks. Yeah, I could do the bigger one in the back, so I can look at it going this way, or I can take the bigger one going in the back. I mean, that looks pretty cool, right? And then you have, then we can put a couple on the bottom. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go from the top and get that little crease in here. I wanna make sure that I'm not putting too much because I don't want it to drip down since I'm working on my tumbler. But you can always scratch it off too. And as soon as it's on with the two small pieces, once you take it off, you'll be able to work with it and put more bubbles on it. So I like that look. I can always build up now with the small ones. My straw is not in the way. My customer is happy, right? I'm happy. And now I'm building. I could probably put like a small one in here to make it look. Oh, in the front. Yeah, I can put the small ones in the front. Like, you mean right here? Oh. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna show you. So I can probably put a small one right here and play around with it. I could put my, and then if I want to put my duck in the front, I want to make sure that I'm not hitting them in the face when they're going to drink, right? So maybe I can do them here, just hanging out, or I can do them here, hanging out. I don't know. I mean, it's really up to you. You can put them, I don't know how high you want to go. You want to make sure that you want to, I use the straw that I'm going to keep so I can drink from it. I want to make sure that the tumbler's not in my face. Again, it's fun to make, but you also have a customer who's going to be drinking out of the cup and the tumbler, and you want to make sure that it's functional, right? So he's kind of cute right there. I think he's high enough, right? So we can put him over here. What I'll do is take a little bit. And just to get that initial attachment, you don't need that much, thanks. You don't need that much resin, and you'll go over it later. Can you guys see it coming together a bit? Right? So I hope this is helping. I'm trying to think of what other items like I had issues with. I don't think you need to see the whole process. You guys are going to be doing your own, and you're going to be figuring out your way of doing things. I can only give you the recommendations that I follow as a basis is lots of different sizes, and you don't want to use too many heavy marbles because then your topper is just going to be too heavy. And also what you want to do is you want to kind of counterweight it. So if you're going to put marbles in the front, you need to have some in the back too, because then it's going to just be top heavy and it'll be awkward. So we'll build a little bit here with the lighter beads, and then we'll do a couple heavier ones in the back, and we'll fill them in with the smaller ones just to give it a little height and dimension. So I'm gonna just keep going. So I have a bigger one here. We'll go with like, try and fit them in smaller, medium, yeah, hi Iris. I'm using a UV resin. I got it from Amazon. It was shipped on Prime for $10, I think it was. I picked this one because of the price, and I like that it has the nozzle on it. It makes it a lot easier. I was using, because again, I said I'm a craft hoarder, the one that I had at first, it didn't have the nozzle on it, and you couldn't really pour it. You don't want to pour that. So I like the fact that these came with that spout. Makes life a whole lot easier. So this is the one I got. There's a bazillion on Amazon. They're probably all the same. Right now I'm using the flashlight. It seems to be working better. Yesterday I was using this one that I saw Tamara use on her live, which I like. This is really nice when I'm drying the whole thing, just to slide it under too. I'm using a silicone board that I got from a different group that has a lip on it, so that way my marbles aren't, they're still falling to the floor and I catch a bunch of them, but for the most part they stick on here till I pick them up and drop them. The purpose of the resin, Shannon, is it's clear and it's connecting your marbles and your beads together to build it up. You could use hot glue, which is what I used at first, but what I notice about the hot glue is that when it dries, it leaves a cloud, and I rather have the clear finish, which looks watery, versus having a cloud of hot glue, which kind of ends up looking like glue. I hope that helps you. So it's basically at connecting them. So now, again, with the bead, it has the hole. I'm still in the process of finding one that doesn't have the hole for a decent price. If you're gonna spend, as long as you sealed the glue with the last long. You mean this resin? I don't understand the question. It's not, it's not epoxy. This is UV resin. So yeah, as long as it's sealed, it lasts. Yeah, I don't like the cloudy look either. So I try not to use the hot glue. Some people don't care. I care. I find this works better for me. So I also don't, like I was saying before, I don't like the holes in the beads until I find a price that actually makes it worth doing. I mean, literally, I can spend an hour and a half making a topper and people don't want to pay for it. So I rather not pay $10 for 50 beads. I know, but I also like doing it, and I'm kind of particular on how I do. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it'll dry clear. So I don't like the holes, so what I'll do with the holes, as I was saying, I'll put a little resin in there, and then I showed before, I have this mirror that I got from work that is just like a clear surface. I'll put some resin down, and the resin doesn't dry till you hit it with the UV light. So using this, you can use a Q-tip. I'm only using these because this is what I have. I also don't know if using a Q-tip, if it like splintered out or whatever. I have put a little resin on the tip, and I will go into the micro bubbles and I'll take a dab of them. And of course, you'll probably get more than necessary, but you can always spread them. And what I do is I like to cover the bead hole. If they go elsewhere, it's cool because they look like cute little bubbles anyway. And I'll fill the hole with the micro bubbles. You also want to be careful because what I noticed is that if I don't go fast enough, the micro bubbles are smaller than the hole and they sink. So you gotta go a little quick on that. But then I cover them and it doesn't look like a hole anymore. And if if you're eager to make them, you can always order the micro bubbles on Amazon and then get them off of Wish later and wait for them to do more. Also, like I said before, there's this annoying like black spot on my marble, and what I'll do is I'll just cover it in these little tiny ones. Oops. Also, I know people use gloves with resin and use a mask. I don't follow what I do because I don't know if it's healthy or not. But yeah, so you see, I just covered the black spot, and it's a little loose. And again, play with your toppers. If stuff is falling off, you'd rather it fall off at your house than at your customers, right? See? And then you covered the dark spot. Oh, there's another one right there that I don't like. It doesn't come off. Take a little more. I'll get a little dab of my put it there. And you covered your spot. See? With cute little bubbles. And even if you put like a bunch of them, I still don't think it looks like too much in places. They don't bother me. And I like that I like the blue. Yeah, I will add links, Shannon, to whatever I have. I know that there's somebody who sells the toppers. I'm going to ask if it's okay if I link these toppers. I don't want to do anything that, I got to abide by the rules. But yeah, so I will put links to all the Amazon stuff. And then, so now I have my arc. I'm building back. All my magnets are sitting in place. It's not going anywhere, right? And now I want to think about what do I want to do to this little duck? I like the stack. And look, see, it came off. That's what happens. You got to make sure your stuff is not going to come off at somebody's house. All right, so since that didn't go, I'm gonna, we'll try this. Oops. I like the stack. I wish it would work. I kind of figured it wouldn't, but maybe if I put 2, let's put 2, like a pyramid, or 3. Put 3. 3. And what the what the resin on this is doing for me is it's getting that initial stick on there, because the micro marbles or beads, they're so tiny that you can't have them sitting there or hold them with your finger to then put it. So it just helps me get them on where I'm going. See? And then I wanted a stack. I like the stack. I'm upset that that guy didn't last. We're gonna have to fix him. So I'm gonna stack it on this guy. Yeah, cure time is 2 to 3. I also 2 to 4. I also like to put extra on after, because like I said, nothing worse than it coming off. Because it dries clear, you want to get these kind of fast with the UV light because they roll. Now you got a stack of them. And again, what I'll do later on after I'm done with the hole topper is I really like this one because it sits down on this pedestal thing and I can fit the whole topper underneath it. Usually, I mean, I kind of stacked that guy, but I mean, if I wanted to like put it on something so it's a little higher, it covers the whole thing. So you can get the whole thing down. The flashlight is good because you can just hit it real quick to like get it to stay in place, right? So now I had this void because it was hitting the lip and I realized I don't want it to hit the lip. So I got to put a smaller one in there. So we'll go in there. Take some of these guys, maybe go above. So I'm staying out of the, oops. I want to stay out of the lip zone. And keep going back to your topper, right? Because you want to make sure that you're not going into the drinking area. You want to make sure your magnets are always touching. So you got to sit it properly. You want to be a little rough with it because you want to make sure that it's not falling apart. The magnets are touching, right? This guy is still. And it'll give you headaches. I mean, sometimes it'll be super annoying. But see, if you get it on the magnets, something's touching. But you want to keep going back because you want the fit and you want it to hold the magnets. So, because you want it to be able to be turned upside down and you don't want anything to fall. Yeah, I can go back to the arc. So, as for the arc, what you're gonna remember, you're gonna put your tumbler on, right? Hold on. Stuff is falling off. All right. So you want to go back. You want to remember that you have room to move the straw around, right? You don't want to get hit in the face when you're drinking it. What you want to do is over you don't want to go straight, because if you have the same tumblers I have, it has this closer on it. I don't like to take the closer off. So I'm kind of building a bridge, right, to go enough where it looks like it's a full topper, but it doesn't ruin the functionality of it, right? Now that I have these two on, I'm gonna build off of these two, and then I can always go in from underneath and add more resin to it to secure it better, right? So, all right, we'll keep going on the arcs. So what do I want to do next? And I'll put more bubbles on him after, whatever. I want to kind of build back. I don't want to use too many of these glass marbles because they're so heavy. So maybe I'll take, you know, a bigger one of these plastic ones and like start it over here, because I want to kind of get back to the back of the tumbler and have it have an even weight. So maybe I could do, and I don't want to use too many because I don't want this thing, it's not a weapon, it's a topper, right? And then you want to put it on the lid. Not the right lid. You can tell it doesn't connect. You want to make sure that you're not putting it here, right? Because then you're touching that. You don't want to touch that. So I guess I'll go here, and then I can do one to kind of weigh it out over here, right? You can look at them and figure out how you want to do it. You also don't want to do too many little ones, so you want to get a nice mix of big and small. So if you use too many small, I found my problem was that there was just too many and it just looked like too many. And if you use too many big ones, it's too heavy. So you gotta kind of find the right balance on it. And then we'll do another one, maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to. Do I want to do it like, I don't like to put two of the same next to each other, but I'm weird like that. Maybe I'll go like, maybe I like that, right? Again, I keep stressing it. I don't like too many because I don't like to make it a heavy topper. Just find that doesn't help much. Do I want to like maybe go like this, and maybe I'll go like that. And you can always just place your big ones too, and then fill them in with small ones. I try to go along as I can because I like the fit better when I'm working on it. But now you could see I got the height for where I'm working off of the tumbler. I'm not going to go any lower than that, so I can start working off of it again. I now know that I have the room for the straw. I'm not going to hit it, and I have my height here where my closer isn't going to get affected, right? So now it's just a matter of filling it in. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, I think I can probably... Do you guys want to see me finish it, or do you want me to come back and show it to you when it's done? Keep adding. And again, I would probably use gloves. I didn't. Probably should. The curve of the acrylic piece. No, they're not touching. That's what I made sure of. They're not touching this piece. They're going over that piece so that you could still, if you take out the straw, close the... So... And I mean, I also don't know how people use the toppers. I'm only thinking about what I do. So if I take the straw out, I can still have it closed with the topper on it, right? And I could push it back. I didn't reinforce this one yet, but like this one is dry. And I can go in there and close it and open it. Also take it off, and but it goes. I think if you touch it, you're gonna glue it, or it just won't close and open properly, right? So nothing is touching underneath. So back to this guy. And again, I like to use more than, I like to fill every area. Some people don't care if that's showing. I like to be rough with it. I'm not going to be too rough with it now because I didn't put the final resin over it. So it's a little gentle. Maybe I'll come and I'm gonna keep building to go over this. So I'm trying not to use too many big ones. I don't, like I said, try not to. So this guy kind of sits good. He's touching 2 points, right? He seems to want to be there. And you'll tell, like, you'll be able to, when you're working with it, you'll be able to feel where they want to sit in, you know? I also don't want to put too many in an area where they don't have a purpose to fill a void. So if you stack too many on top of each other, it's just giving it weight versus I want to cover my hole, right? I want it to look full. And if I keep putting one on top of the other, it's just going to add heft to it without really closing that gap. I'm very top heavy, so I want to put a bigger one back here so that it's an even weight, and that'll help with your magnets. So I'm gonna go over here maybe. This way I'm giving some weight to the back, right? And then you can build on those bigger ones with smaller ones that are not as heavy. And I'll put one of these, these guys, I guess. When I'm getting to the back, I have to be careful because, again, you don't want it touching the lip, right, of the back of the cup. And I'm only working with what I have. I'd probably get more sizes if I could. But I do need some weight in the back because I feel like I have a lot of weight in the front that I want to distribute. And it doesn't have to touch. If you have already put marbles on the acrylic, you can connect these and it's not touching the bottom. You can fill those with your micro bubbles to fill the gap in, you know, and you're still giving it weight. See, I feel like I'm really evenly distributed now onto it. And now, in order to cover this, what I'll do is I'll find one to fit into here, so I can go with like a medium-sized one, and that'll cover my gap. And then work it with those micro bubbles. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going back to my lid because I wanna make sure that I didn't go too far with these and that my magnets are still connecting, and they are, right? It's not coming off. I feel like I have even distribution of my heavy glass, and now I'm going to fill in to give it more volume. I'm gonna put something here and then we'll figure out where to get our little quacker guys. I think I can put in, with the way that these two are, I can probably put 2 on this one. And so now we're gonna be looking at how we're gonna fill in all the areas. And again, like I said, and I feel like I'm keep talking about it over and over, I don't want to keep putting these glass ones because I already feel like it's getting so heavy, but I have this big circle here and I feel like it just needs one. So we can give it one, and maybe we'll put it like right in the middle. We'll go in with the resin. Remember, when you're working on the lid, you don't want to put too much to attach it because you don't want it to drip down onto your lid. And when you take the topper off to work on it, you're going to be able to go in with that resin underneath to secure it more. And then your lid is not dirty. Eva, your magnets you'll find on Amazon. They are the small. These I think I would have, I'm only using what I had. I would get probably a little bit bigger. I don't know what millimeter this is. Let me see. These are half an inch. I don't know if somebody can Google what half an inch is. I might go 3. I think I would do like 3/4. Oh, excuse me, these are centimeters. This is 1/2 centimeter. I think I would go maybe 3/4 of a centimeter. These are 1/2 centimeter. I'd go 3/4 of a centimeter personally, but I had these, so I was just using them. You don't want to spend too much making the topper because you want to be able to make some sort of profit on it, right? A little bit of profit, because if I'm spending, you know, $5 on the marbles and beads, and I'm spending, you know, $5 on the duck and $5 on the magnets, I need to make something, because the good thing is that everything you're going to buy, you're welcome. Everything you're going to buy is going to be able to make you a bunch of them. So, I mean, I still have a lot of beads from my one bag, and I'm on my second one. I bet you I can probably pull out another, maybe half or another one using this without opening up my other bag of beads. I got these on sale at Hobby Lobby for 62 cents. I don't like the whole, but for 62 cents, I'll work with it. These I got on Wish. They might have even been free, just paid for shipping. If you want to do them now, you can get them on Amazon and then order them, because I know Wish takes forever. So, since I built up on these two guys, I don't know if I want to build up on the next duck. So I feel like I have this little like cute area for my third one. Maybe I want him to look out, you know? I think he'd be cute looking like on the side. And it's all about how it feels to you. I do what I like. Usually people like can tell when you're doing something you like versus something you don't. I know that's how I feel like it is with me. When I don't want to do something, it just looks like I don't want to do it. And you'll see I have a void underneath him, so I need to fill that in with stuff. So I want, like, I don't even know, like, I haven't tried with a tweezer or whatever, putting, you know, them in with a tweezer, but maybe that would work. I feel like, oh, there you go. Now he's sitting on a boat of bubbles. I can go a little bit heavier since with the resin, since I'm not on the lid. Now he's sitting on some bubbles, and I'm gonna build down from that. Now you can work, and these little tiny ones, we're gonna fill those in with the micro bubbles. So anywhere that you feel like there's a hole, and this could not bother you, you know, you might not even notice that. I do. So I fill it in, and I'm gonna continuously go back. You want to keep going back because you want it all to be secure on your magnets, and it's not gonna come off. Oops, I don't want to do that. But yeah, I think bigger magnets would help me a bit. But something's not sitting right here. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Oh. There we go. So, see? And then I have my guy here. I'm going to touch it down to the bottom. I want to stay inside of the rim. So I'm going to use smaller ones now because my hole is getting smaller, so I can just fit them in. I might have, I think I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to go with a bigger size. And then go like that. And then I'm gonna fill it in over here, I think with some of these guys. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, Bob Rossi's always like, happy little trees, you got happy little ducks. Right? Me being particular, since this guy got some bubbles on his back, I don't really want to put some on his, so I might end up, I think I'm going to put some on his. So I might do this. And then boop. And I'm sure there's a different way that's probably better to get the micro bubbles on. I tried this, I like it. And then he got bubbles. I gotta figure out about how I want this guy's bubbles to be. And I'm gonna go in after, and after I'm done forming my topper and I'm happy with the way that it looks, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put resin all over it and even from the bottom, because again, I feel like a broken record, you don't want it to come off when it's not in your house, right? I'd rather it come off here and be able to fix it than it come off in somebody's house and they like send me a bad review and say you're selling, you know, bad stuff. I don't want to sell bad stuff. I'm gonna build up here. And you know, something could fall and fall in the right place where it was supposed to be. I'd rather it fall in the right place and look like it's supposed to be there than put it somewhere where it just doesn't look right, you know? So you want to sit there, you like it? Okay, enjoy. Right, so. Get a medium one and put it over here. What I'm trying to do is fill in the 2 gaps right there. And then I'm going to put a couple more ducks on it and give it a little height, and then it's pretty much done, right? You don't need to go too high as long as you have that arc. See where I want to put my last duck. The ducks came like this off of Amazon. I think they were like $5 for how many ever this was. I figured I was just starting. I didn't need 200 ducks. Sometimes you put it down and you don't even think it needs an extra duck. trying to think of, I'm gonna stop this because it's annoying. We'll put him, maybe I'll build it up a little bit from the back, right? And then we can have him sitting higher. Just putting him down just didn't look right. The next one I want to try is the candy topper. That one looks like fun. Let's see if I can build this up. Let's see. See how it's sitting right there? And it looks pretty cool up there, right? Maybe I can go a little higher. Yeah, the snow cone one looks cool too. There are so many to try. It's just like, I mean, how many things can you get into? I feel like I spend more on this hobby than I make. But I do have the candy, which is cool. So I want to try that. I cleaned up my craft room yesterday because I was looking for the stuff to make the whip topping for the candy, and I know I had it, and I'm sure as soon as I buy it, I'm gonna find it. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, which way is the customer gonna look at it, right? I don't want it to look too much. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I want to close, and I feel this is coming loose, so before it does, I'm going to put a little more right there. And it's okay to manhandle these while you're working with them. You want to, because you want to have them stick. Over here, I'm gonna fill it in with some small ones. I'm gonna take a couple, like, medium. And see, I can fit these in without the resin, so once I put them in, then I can just put the resin in all together as one line. So my hands have been, I gotta drink more water is my thing. They're like shaking. All right, so I put like a pile. I'll get another guy right there. And I feel like that made it kind of, you know, filled in the voids. And because the resin dries clear, you don't have to worry. Again, it looks like water when it's on there, so you can't see it. You want to put enough that it's sticking. See? He looks kind of full, and then you just fill in the back. You got enough, it's dispersed here. See, Tamara has everything, yep. She used all the same stuff, really. But I'm gonna go in and fill in these couple of voids, and I don't know if we need an extra duck. Do we need another duck? Or is it duck overload? Is it too much duck? What do you you guys think? Too much duck? No duck. All right, no duck it is. Yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna keep filling in right here. Maybe use a couple bigger ones so that we can just fill it in quicker. And we'll put some micro beads in there to make it kind of seamless when we do it. Can build it up over here. Yeah, you're welcome. It was kind of long-winded a little bit. I gotta figure out how to do better tutorials. There's people who are really good at this, you know. I don't do them much because I work full-time and I have a 5-year-old, so I like to spend my time that I have with her. So I craft when I can, but I really like doing these toppers. These are fun. And she's with her dad this weekend, so I was like, I don't have to go into 105 degrees. You see how when you build up with those smaller ones, it looks more realistic, I think. And we're gonna go into this void here with the micros. So what we can do for this side is, and again, remember, we're not going past the edge, right? So we'll put a little bit of UV right there. I have some on the tip so that I can go in and scoop. If you have like bigger clumps because you are messy like me and it's stuck together, take them, fill them in. I recommend getting the blue and white because it gives it a little more, like, just think it looks better. I'm staying above that rim, right? Get back. And I want to spread it out. And hit it. Again, I'm going to cover it again, so you don't have to worry about it not having enough, right? But I think it gives it like a really good look. Sorry. Ah! Look, nothing fell off. He didn't even come off. See? So you got enough to secure it. Alright guys, I think I'm going to take this off and finish it, and I'll post some pictures of what the tumbler and the topper look like. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Tamara has all the links set up. Yeah, and please show me yours when they're done. I would love to see them. Alright, thank you.